This is TWiT.
So we have yet to find anything we're too excited about. Stacey was excited about Tizen and Wear merging.
Oh, wait, no. We promised people I would tell them the other thing.
Oh, yeah. What else?
Actual future.
Okay.
Project Starline.
Okay.
You were excited about
real.
this. Oh.
You are so wrong on this, but go ahead.
I thought it was neat because I think
Leo's gonna call you a
get that
sucker
there's
in a
lots of
minute.
It was neat. I won't deny it.
I saw the infrastructure. There's a lot happening in the background to make there have like no background to standardize this. But I still thought this was like, oh, it's like a vision of the future where you're like, oh, this could be the future. That's kind of fun. So show people it's a 3D rendering or it's a 3D version
here's
of
the picture.
Video calls.
So it's using something that's well-known called light field technology, which gives you, it's the only way to do 3D without special glasses or headsets. And I've actually seen it in action at CES last year. They had a number of people. Sony was doing it. A number of people were doing light field displays.
I hadn't seen them that size before. That is
There's
really big.
never been this big. It was much more like a little box you'd put your face in.
Yeah, that's what I've seen like before.
Yeah.
So that's interesting.
But there's reasons for that. For one thing, it's not very bright. So this is misleading. It would have to be a darkened room if it's going to work. And because, this is a prototype, we don't know how much it's going to cost. But I think that size, I bet it's not cheap.
Oh, it reminded me of, remember when Cisco was launching all their fancy telepresence stuff and you had to go to like a hotel to use it? It reminded me of that. But,
yeah, it's light field projection.
These things come down in price. It also, the way people were, it was like talking to someone like who's in jail, like through the clear plexiglass, you know, where you're on one side with the phone. It did, but it was still neat. And I get excited like about commercialization of technology that could do something like this, especially as,
So the only reason I'm skeptical is we've seen a lot of attempts to do these kinds of things, and they're always disappointing in the long run. It's probably very expensive, and it's only marginally better than a screen. The fact that you could kind of turn your head and see a little of a 3D effect does not make it somehow magical.
It is not the 10X thing, but I will say we had thought about video call. I mean, AT&T had a video phone back in like 1960. And
that really took off too, by the way.
It took a long time, but we're there now. Think about things like FaceTime.
I saw that too at the World's Fair in 1965 in the New York World's Fair. And here it is. Let me do some quick math. 55 years later. And now we're argue
a little sooner.
Well, this is the perfect Stacey optimist versus grumpy Leo.
I've turned into a grump.
Cynic. Yeah, this is right here. We have it.
65-inch light field display is Google expensive, I think, but maybe not.
I think you're right. And
remember, you have to have one at both ends.
Anything that normalizes new technology, I get excited about.
Right. You do need one at both ends. So.
And a piece of wood.
Yes. Yeah. Kevin and I were talking about it. He's like, I just got a fax machine. And I'm like, haha.
Oh, it's being transmitted over WebRTC. I don't know how you feel about WebRTC, Kevin Marks, but
it's not too bad. I mean,
it's okay. It's not too bad. There you have it.
It's standardized. I mean, the thing, 20 years ago when we were doing it for the first time, this stuff was hard. It's now everyone's doing it. And I was trying to sign in today. It was like, I haven't got that video chat app. We've got 6 different ones now. Yeah. Because we've pretty much standardized it and we know how to do it. So I'm comfortable with being able to do that. It's just that there's going to be chucking a bit more data over it, so they're going to have data issues. But I suspect what they're primarily doing is using this for inter Google conferencing.
Lauren Good did.
They're actually not using it.
They're not
just playing with it.
They're just showing. Well, Lauren Good got to try it. She's writing in Wired about it, and she said it was pretty amazing. So, I met with 3 separate Googlers in Project Starline, all of them men, and some of the surreality faded each time I shifted in my seat, moved to the side just a few inches, the illusion of volume disappears. Suddenly you're looking at a 2D version of your video chat partner again, similar to the way a sporting event looks great on your big screen TV until you move too far off the sweet spot. There were also, and I think this is WebRTC, a few random artifacts fluttering on screen, broken bits that served as occasional reminders the person in front of me was not really there. And when one of the demonstrators started casting a web page onto the light field display as an example of how two people collaborate in Starline, we both just stared over each other's right shoulder at a not quite interactive page. There seems to be work to be done. She asked, will it take 5 more years? The Google men did not seem inclined to answer. Google says around 100 employees have used Starline. It has been tucked away in secret offices in Mountain View, Seattle, and New York. You know,
I could go play with it.
Yeah, I'm sure we could get you an invite. You know, I'm not against it. I just think that, remember, this is prototype. This is not a Google announcement of a product at any point.
Well, look, I don't feel like I'm going to die within the next 20 years, so I'm excited.
Maybe that's my problem.
2 decades.
Maybe that's
I'll
my
be okay
problem.
and see this.
Yeah, we're just pissed we're not going to get it.
I'll be dead by the time that comes out, so screw it.